Ladies and gentlemen and knife enthusiasts the internet over, I finally did it. I joined the BudK Knife of the Month Club, where every single month I'll get a knife at $10 a piece. I have no idea what it's going to be. It could be crap, or maybe it'll be a diamond in the rough. Let's find out together.
Join me in this review series. This is JJ Jinx Truck Stop Knives!
Episode 3, the Shinwa Takegara. Retail value, $26.99. Okay, folks, we're back with another BudK Knife of the Month Club knife. What I carried over the past month is this black Takegara pocket knife by Shinwa. And I don't really know what a Takegara is, if I'm pronouncing that right. Obviously, it's something Japanese. I guess if I'm questioning it, that's not that obvious. But I Googled around a little bit, and the only thing I could really find was like a noodle scooper. And I don't know if that's related to the word or if it's just a coincidence. So in the previous month, I carried a fixed blade knife for a month. And so I was happy I got a folder. And when I saw it, I was immediately like, oh, cool. Because I was actually looking at these on BudK's website probably a month or two ago. They have them in a couple of different colors, different sizes, different styles. And I ended up not getting one for a couple of reasons. First of all, I do like the other color they have, which is like kind of a reddish colored wood with anodized blue hardware. But the thing I didn't like was that the blade in those other models was the fake Damascus pattern. They basically put like a decal on it to make it look like it's Damascus, but it's really not. And that's just freaking stupid. And even though the price was like $23 or something like that, I was like, I would maybe pay $10 for it. But I would never use it, and I would resent it and not like it because of the whole fake Damasteel thing. So that's why I was kind of excited when I saw this, because like, well, I got one for $10 through the Knife of the Month Club. This retails for $26.99. It is 13 inches long overall with a 6-inch long blade, and there's not a whole lot more information about this knife except that the scales are made of G10, which is a fiberglass laminate. And they do have a smaller version of this knife. It's like an inch, maybe a little more than an inch smaller for like a few dollars less. So let's talk about the things I liked about carrying and using this knife for 1 month. Fit and finish wise, I have no complaints. The blade centering is fine. The deployment for such a large blade is pretty good. And even though it's riding on Teflon spacers, which can be a bit tight, it just wasn't a problem with this knife. And the chamfering is all good. There's no sharp corners or hot spots to be found. A pocket clip is one of those deep ride deals, although I don't really know why they placed it so darn low. I guess it was to make room for this lanyard hole, but I'm not a lanyard guy, so having the low ride pocket clip in this low position, it kind of defeats the purpose of having that kind of pocket clip, in my opinion. And it was a little bit tight to start out, and it did loosen up a little bit over time so that you don't feel like you're tearing the fabric of your pants every time you put it in your pocket and take it out. There are these kanji characters, and I found a cool thing online where you can draw the character and it'll give you a rough translation. I understand that translating any pictorial language to the English language is kind of difficult because of context and things like that. But the best translation that I could come up with for these characters is quick learner, or something like that. The blade has an unusual feature to it. Notice that it kind of bulges as it comes out from the hilt. So it gets wider before it gets smaller again, ending in a very long clip point, I suppose. I mean, it's got the swedge, which brings it from something like, I guess that would be 1/8 of an inch to maybe 1/16 of an inch towards the end. It has been pretty good at slicing. I actually cut a few bagels with this guy, and it did fine. Went right through, and no problems. I cut lots of other things, and that was never a problem either, so I suppose I don't have any complaints in that department. Here's where I do have some complaints. Now, design-wise, they are basically trying to mimic a stalk of bamboo. And I thought, this knife is big. If they were to just basically cut off this last square and shorten the blade a little bit, I would be 100% happier with this thing. And like I said, come to find out, they do offer one in roughly that size. Speaking of the handle, the other complaint that I have is it's kind of lacking in ergonomics. I get that they're doing the whole Japanese theme, so they got to stick with the bamboo. So it's just a little bit uncomfortable. Not really uncomfortable even. It's just it doesn't feel so natural holding it, and after holding a lot of knives, it's noticeable. But if you are into Japanese stuff and the Japanese style, which I'm not, then I guess the positives would outweigh that for you. I mean, I do like some Japanese like anime. I'm down for a little Studio Ghibli or Ghibli, however you pronounce it. Attack on Titan's pretty cool, but as far as like having Japanese style stuff, I don't care for it. Other than that, the blade, even though it cut well, it did have a couple of fit and finish problems. I don't know if you'll be able to see this very well, but somewhere's right, yeah, there it is. It's like a little, in the camera, it looks like a little black line. That is a roll. So this blade came damaged. It's a little ding on the edge of the blade there, and in order to get rid of it, I'd have to kind of reprofile the whole thing. And also, way up here by the tip, oh, it's going to be impossible to focus on, isn't it? Let me bring it back a little bit. There we go. You can see how it kind of looks a little bit shinier there. I think this knife might have been dropped after it was ground, because that is kind of a flat spot. Ironically, I ended up getting a scratch and dent item, I think. Which, if you've seen my Why I'm Done with BudK videos, well, there's the irony. I am going to continue with the Knife of the Month Club from BudK, just because I started already, and I'm going to be 4 months in at this point, so I'd like to keep going with it. One other weird thing I have to point out is if you go to the BudK website and read the description, it has this to say about the flipper tabs. It says, the double flippers are here for quick deployment. That makes absolutely no sense, BudK. How many knives do you own that have just one flipper and they deploy just fine? You put a second one there, it's not going to speed up the deployment. So I thought that was kind of a strange sentence. It also mentions that the screws are very sturdy. I've never really read a knife description that talked about the sturdiness of their screws. But I guess they just, had to continue cranking out those bullet points in the description, right? It is also described as a modern everyday carry built by masters of ancient swordcraft. So yeah, would I recommend it to anybody? Well, at the full price of, $27, I wouldn't. If you could get it for 10, hey, I'd say why not? Get the shorter one if you like smaller blades. Have a look at their red with anodized blue motif if you are into that. And if you don't like the fake Damascene steel look, get out a Dremel tool and get rid of it, I say. And it's time. We come to the part where we open the next knife with the previous knife. This package actually came really early. It came like a few days ago, so it's been sitting here. And I feel like the month really just went by fast. I'm like, am I done carrying this already? Jeez. It didn't feel like a month, but some months are just like that. So anyway, here we go. What could it be? For the next month, I will be carrying a Black Ronin.